that wants to get up close and personal, and if the enemy team, the attacking team, doesn't have a Reinhardt, it can be very, very hard to actually get your team into fighting range before you get poked down. So it's more than likely that we're going to see Misfits bring a Reinhardt in, but if not, they'll probably go for the Zarya and the Winston combo that you see here. It just makes them a little bit more vulnerable until they can actually engage, until they can start the fight.
Soon making a couple of switches there, deciding on the Reaper at the end, so we'll see how it works out. Big hit on Crew there, didn't get a shield up, so he didn't get any charge on that. That was prime opportunity, really. Numlock catching him out, but here we go. You can see, I'm interested to see how defensive are going to work. We've seen a couple of different defenses here on Dorado already.
This is not a static composition at all from Misfits as well. No Reinhardt here as well, so that Junkrat still has good value. You see, he has 54% of his ultimate charged up already, so the guy's been doing damage. But again, we're probably going to see Misfits being forced to work around that one. Skipjack heads up to the high ground, but the rest of Misfits still on the low, so they're going to take a couple moments still to set up. And you can see that Bromaster's pushing aggressively on the right side to prevent Misfits from actually setting up properly around the corner.
Big hit there. Zebasai, who had already been taken down, just got chipped straight down to about 15% health along with Soon. So RTA doing some great work here with his grenades. You can see them constantly landing. Look at the hit points on Misfits, constantly going down, down, down. This is working out very well so far. We're already a minute into the game.
And this is exactly what we have to do to RTA. You need to push him, you need to get aggressive, but that trap actually got set off there. I think it was Soon who was forced to go into a shadow form, but RTA does eventually get taken down. Now Zebasai and the rest of the crew moving forward. It's a charge, it's a mischarge as well for Numlock. That aggression always seems to come back and bite him in the rear end.
And he's lost out. That's going to be the first point capped out here. I don't think there's anything they can do. You can see Zebasai happily waiting on the sound barrier. Doesn't need to use it. RTA is going to try this Riptire. It's got a long old way to go, but Soon and Crew already cleaning up. They're going to come through. The shield will just block that out. Thank you very much for the charge. Crew now has himself Graviton Surge.
So obviously RT's not going to Riptire from spawn unless he was going to change directly after, but it also, that's like a good 6 to 7 seconds where you can't walk towards a fight, you can't get involved, and you put everything on that Riptire. Well, it's just a Zarya shield and it's quite easily tuned up, isn't it?
Why don't you just cancel it out? Exactly, but now you can see Lynx. He's got himself Graviton Surge, so it's going to be both teams Graviton Surge. Pulse Bomb available as well, making sure they don't get the flank around there, remember. Of course, IDDQD catching them out earlier on. It's going to be aggressive. Skipjack jumps on straight in there with the Winston, tries to get in their faces. There's the Graviton Surge. He catches 5 members. That's a brilliant Graviton Surge, but is there any follow-up? Bromas trying to get the work down, but Skipjack gets himself the double. RTA chimes in, but it's a very easy fight.
That's right, Crew takes down Lynx, so that's one Zarya getting on towards another, and Soon follows up. So Misfits amongst the chaos, amongst the mess, as the smoke clears, they're going to come out on top in that fight and actually be able to make some good progress here. Dignitas tried to start it off. It's almost as if Skipjack baited them into that fight, but it definitely didn't work in their favor. And this RTA Genji pick, we've not seen him really work out so well so far, after switching away from the Junkrat.
Soon he's ready and waiting. Death Blossom ready to fly. He's just going to catch him around the side there. You can see the shields. Oh no, he's already used it, but his Transcendence comes out. So good hold from Soon there. Was very much ready to pull the trigger, but instead delays, and that's a problem. You can see they're forcing him away. That's going to be Numlock catching him with a hammer there. They're still going to catch people out. Skipjack trying to work on the Lucio, but he manages to wall climb himself out of there. Skipjack switches to Tesla and still continues to chase on Zebasai.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he can head back to the fight. Numlock falls down as Afre here as well, so you've zoned off the Lucio, and you've managed to kill the enemy Reinhardt. That's pretty darn good. And Misfits want to work off the back of this now as well. You see Bromas does find Zebasai. He's an opening for Dignitas as well, but Lynx again gets taken down by Crew. It's the second time this has happened. He has to stand tall up against the opposition Zarya. Or that's just the first building block out of the Jenga set that gets pulled out. The rest just comes tumbling down.
They were not coordinated fights at all. That was very much skirmishing, constantly piling in there, trying to delay things. But 3 minutes 20 through into the final section. That's a big time for Misfits to hit already. You can see 5:32 on the clock. Now, we talked about this. They've struggled to close out this map. They've hit the 80-meter mark a number of times. So that's really got to be on their minds here. They have to close out this time instead of just hitting the slope.
We've got ultimates here for Zapre and Soon as well. So combining them with the impending Graviton Surge from Crew can be quite deadly here for Misfits. They can break any sort of deadlock. Numlock has an Earth Shatter. He needs to just chill. Just chill for a second and find the right time to use that. He's been far too aggressive so far and dying too early. He's going to come down. This may be Sparta, ladies and gentlemen, but Numlock's taken out very quickly.
Bromas' ulti doesn't catch a great deal. He manages to get a left click going, takes him down, but Soon comes through. Soon cleans up. That's just countered straight in their faces. Misfits Misfits in trouble here. RTA comes to the rescue along with Toxicon. They do finally clear out, but by God, that was close. Down to a 2-on-2 there, and Misfits lose out. Well, that could have been an incredibly quick time. We're still only in the 4-minute region, so we're still looking at a decent time for Misfits with 4 minutes 38 on the clock.
So RTA is unsettled. This is his second hero switch this game, and the third hero that he's played. He's gone away from the Genji and now over towards the Reaper. Bit more defensive mindset there as well. You're going to wait around a corner, you're going to wait for a big tank to come past you and then pop out. Great little knockoff there. Perfect stuff, but the Graviton Surge is going to lock everyone inside. Link's not taking too much damage right now and gets the charge up his cannon. Transcendence coming over the top for Misfits as well. They need to keep themselves topped up, and Zapre picks up Bromas. That's a good start, but Numlock responding quickly.
Yeah, great start. Really great dispersal, but unfortunately, it is Dignitas that come out on top here. They are going to slowly pick up some kills. Nevix chimes in with a double kill. Less than ideal, just sticking in the corner, catching people in the back. Obviously, as we mentioned, #1 player in the world many times on the ranking scale, so don't be distracted by the fact that he is playing a support. He certainly knows how to aim. But now we're in a 5-minute region, so suddenly it's not looking too bad for Dignitas.
So you saw that Skipjack jumped in and managed to knock everyone off. That's fine, but he was on his own and he died really quickly after now. So after he's finished with that ultimate on Winston, he's switching to Reinhardt here. So Misfits want to get up close and want to get to the payload first and foremost and apply pressure by moving the payload along. This is going to force Dignitas to start the fight this time.
Let's see. You can see Numlocked. He's going to hold his ground here. They're going to try and change him in there. RTA just trying to tuck him around the side. He's got his Death Blossom ready and waiting. If they were to just push straight past, they realize he's there. The shield comes in, the pin comes out. Numlock catches on Skipjack already. Earthshatter catches them all in the stairwell, smashes them down. Bromas comes in, clean up crew. Easy stuff there for Dignitas. Solid hold.
Yeah, that's right. Skipjack going to be the first one to spawn back in there. He got charged against the wall, and that's where Numlock's aggression can pay off. Sometimes as Numlock, he doesn't want to be told when to go in. He wants to just go in. And that means that if your team and you see him go in, you're just going to follow up on that one now. It all comes down to instinct. Dignitas want to cause chaos. The problem is that they're kind of throwing themselves into a chaotic situation. And I'm not sure if they're thriving in it so much today as they sort of said they have in the past here. So maybe take a pinch of just chill. They're going to go in for this fight now again.
Graviton Surge ready, waiting for both sides this time, and I don't need to use it. You can see Skipjack getting caught out. Soon was picked off early, so the second that DPS man was going down. Now look at the time, 6 minutes 30. It's starting to time up really quite high here. We just saw obviously a 9-minute plus time for Envious, so don't get totally distracted by a long time. Obviously, we need to see if Dignitas can finish the map. But at the moment, this is a solid hold. We came into this power station section with 5 minutes plus on the clock, and now we're down to 2 minutes.
And the payload slid back a long way here as well. Toxicon picking a couple of headshots out of the mix here, and this is why you need Reinhardt here, okay? You need to get close to the enemy team to be able to actually engage the fight, but there's the Graviton Surge as well. A heck of a lot of Misfits being caught up inside that one, but the follow-up, there's plenty of it there. Bromas comes in there, gets himself 2 RTA follows up. Now, things getting a little bit scary for Misfits, Lee. They took 3.5 minutes to get here. They've used that time again already and made no progress at all. They're stalling out, and they've got 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining.
Brilliant setup, brilliant. Honestly, you saw Lynx land that Graviton Surge, and you saw Numlock just slide through the entire team, blow them all in the air, give it a perfect chance for that Deadeye to land from Bromas. So, a lot of ultis burned though. Now, of course, we have Transcendence still available, comes around the corner, crew trying to catch out, really realizing that RTA is just around there, so no sneaky Death Blossoms in their faces, but they have themselves the Graviton Surge. Soon pops himself the Deadeye, tries to push on through. Can they get the shield down? There's going to be a Death Shatter. It comes back the other way. Numlock steams on through. RTA lands another Death Blossom, and Misfits get wrecked in the stairwell.
That's it. The Reaper Copter hitting hard and fast. The Lynx follows up the last one on towards crew. That is a dangerous and it's a scary position to play from as an attacking team. You really need to pick your socks up and get across the platform as quick as you can. There's 1 minute left here as well. Time ticking down. Soon got caught by the edge of Numlock's Earthshatter. He could have got at least a 3-man Deadeye off that one, but just got caught and knocked down.
Straight down. Skipjack has himself his Earthshatter, but he's had no chance to use it now. Sound barrier clicking in, ready and waiting to go for Dracaeus. They haven't got around this corner to the bridge. Forget 80 meters. We're in sub 50 at the moment. This is a real problem. Zapring gets Bromas down. Toxicon comes around the side. That's the tank down. He was the only man that had that big ulti ready and waiting to go. It's a very even fight though. Linksa chimes in with 1, but it goes back to Dracaeus to take out for crew.
And Team Dignitas is so low here as well, but they're soon getting headshots. Even with Fan the Hammer, I didn't know that was possible, but apparently it is. Crew comes in, finds Linksa yet again. Zaya v Zaya. It's always crew coming out on top here when it really counts. And now the payload should be able to get close to the end. There's only 12 seconds left in this one here, and Misfits are chomping at the bit to come forward. Skipjack has that Earthshatter now as well. He doesn't want to get it blocked out. He needs to use this wisely to help his team get across the line.
Don't try and catch around. There's the Graviton Surge from Lynx. They're all going to be clocked up there. Earthshatter comes down. He catches Bromas around the side there. They're contesting it. Toxicon comes around. They're going to start getting picked up. It looks like he might just about do it in overtime. That will be the map. 9 minutes, 7 seconds, Misfits. They really struggled in the power station, but more importantly, they posted a time.
And you see that team composition towards the end there as well. They had 3 offense heroes that were struggling to get damage done, quite simply. You can see the face there, it's Drakius on your screen, not really phased by that. Dignitas, and you saw, it's very, very simple actually. You stand up on the high ground, and as soon as the opposing team gets close enough for you to reach with one jump, just go. Catch them on the wrong foot every single time. It's a strategy we've seen from defending teams leave for, since like almost the game came out of beta, around there, and it still works here. This is the hardest part of the map to push the payload across, and Dignitas managed to milk, 4.5 minutes out of Misfits, if not more, on that last period.
Yeah, easily. They went in with, 5 minutes plus, and it was down to overtime, so really worked well. So Dignitas held off for as long as they could. They're going to be a little miffed that they didn't hold them completely. Obviously, going over the line in overtime it's always a bit of a kicker, isn't it, really?
It actually, it wasn't supposed to work that way. Skipjack was supposed to use his ult before the end. But he died so early in that fight.
Yeah.
Exactly, but then he had it to allow his team to get the payload over. So what goes around comes around, I guess.
So, standard defensive setup coming out from Misfits this time around. We're going to see soon on McCree. Crew's going to be on that. Zaya, Zebasai, of course on Lucio, having fun on the statue right now around the fountain, keeping that dancing going. Nevix, well, we saw him picking off kills. I mean, this Zenyatta really blends well to his skill set. Zapre, of course, on the Reaper as well, and Skipjack on the Rhine up well. What else would you expect?
Can we go to Linkser for just a second, observers? I need to point something out here. Where is he? Oh, he's changed.
He's changed.
He bought the Golden May gun just to tilt me. He put it on Twitter as well. So he spent 300 credits on a Golden May weapon.
And I went, hey, go, bitch.
So, you guys mad? I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Never place it. Such a troll. Really is. Anyway, now it's going to be Team Dignitas on the attacking side. 9 minutes and 7 seconds lead. That's very doable, but they need to get through this first point first.
Yeah, let's see. Are they going to go the left flank? Are they going to go the straight up charge up the middle? There's so many different ways on this initial archway point. Obviously, we saw Fnatic going really deep on the defense, just backfired horribly on them, getting caught out there. But of course, what Dignitas used well was RTA on the Junkrat. That slowed people down, slowed Misfits down quite a lot. But you can see they're just going to straight up charge on us through. They've got their statue to defend themselves. Now we're going to get the left flank.
Now this has to be quite quick here, because if Misfits have a chance to come forward again and respond to this, they'll be able to catch Team Dignitas sort of mid-stride as they come down now. But they've got the shield in front of them, Numlock, and the RTA wastes no time getting towards the backlines there as well. It was a stun on towards Sue, but somehow he survives with just a sliver of health.
Gets away with it, yeah, very low. You can see Skipjack's health as well. He was chipped right down, but he does hang on there. Nevix getting the heals down, Zebasai working out well. So total wipe there. Dignitas stops. Now, obviously, we're still chasing a 9-minute time. There's plenty of time for them to figure things out, make any adjustments they need to. No switching coming in just yet. Everybody building up those ultis.
Yeah, definitely no real reason for concern right now for Dignitas. They're probably going to go around again. Now,
that's a fake.
The whole idea is that they're going to go around and then just make sure they pick the right target. They almost got Soon, and that would have been it, right? But they lost too many people on the way to get to him here. So you can see that Misfits can't back up too much here. They need to keep line of sight. Zapre off towards the corner as well. He can really hurt. He might go towards the backline here, but Toxic opens up. There's the Earth Shadow from Skipjack. No real follow-up yet as this fight just starts to explode.
Manages to get the pin down. He can't see he's going to finish off. Wraithform comes out, but the rest of his team are on cleanup duty. Soon and crew pick themselves up a double apiece, and Skipjack closes things out. So the payload yet to move. Let's see now if Dignitas start to have a little panic maybe. 2 minutes in, no real progress made. Are we going to see them just push straight at the middle? We do have Graviton Surge available. The Transcender's just coming in as well, along with the Sound Barrier. So a lot of ultis at their disposal.
Now, Dignitas are going to come back again. Can they afford to go for the same strategy around the left? Or just punch forward? That's not a bad idea. A bit of variation. It's the spice of life lead. He does also have a Graviton Surge as well. He's going to set that one up now as well. And the Deadeye coming in from Soon only gets Bromas, but Numlock gets 2 with that coming on down now as well. Zebasai is missing. Zapre spawning way back in here, and Misfits are running out of players.
Numlock getting caught out. Soon still trying to get the left clicks off, but he can't keep them away. But Nevix with the Discord Orb can do a hell of a lot of damage. And you can see Numlock chipped right down, forced him away. Just these 2 damage dealers working so well. Finally, they do get taken down. RTA comes in, gets himself a triple, and now we're in this awkward moment where Misfits are all kind of running back to the payload point, but it is going to hit its marker, and in what, 2 minutes 37. Not the greatest of time, but it puts them 4 minutes back on the clock. They're still chasing a 9-minute overtime score, so easy to do still.
These two teams in their last 6 matches are 3 wins apiece here, so very much an even sort of game between them. And Misfits used to be famous for holding teams on that first point. Unfortunately, Junkrat doesn't work so well now, and the meta has changed somewhat here, but still impressive from Misfits. But the Death Blossom going from RT there, he actually manages to get Soon. It's a solo Reaper Copter mission into the enemy territory, and he gets himself 1 kill away. Not terrible, and definitely a bit of chaos.
It forces Transcendence out as well. That's a very early Transcendence. Luckily, Zapray comes in. He gets himself the kill on Promass along with Nevix, but Linkser and Toxic can chime in. There's going to be Nevix finally getting the kill on Linkser, and they will clear them off. Transcendence used a little strangely there towards the end. The rest of his team were kind of already dead. I'm not too sure the exact reasoning on that one, but they will reposition themselves back on the high ground.
I do not understand that RT are going in with the Death Blossom. Not really sure what the plan was there. There was 6 people. Maybe just didn't know what was up there. Maybe wanted to spread them out. Maybe a panic. Oh, I don't know. But now Misfits have had a bit enough time to set up here on the top ledge, and they should do what Dignitas was doing. Just jump off the edge, just like that. Graviton Surge, just set it up.
Perfect. Perfect setup. You can't argue for anything better there. Skipjack. The counter came out from Linkser. Got really netted nothing there for Dignitas, sorry. And you can just see Nevix on cleanup duty, the rest of his team, thank you very much, back to the top. So, a minute wasted, a minute taken down, but still, you can see 5 minutes on the clock, 3 minutes to reach the church section completed. It's just edging its way around, but that's 2 pretty easy wipes for Misfits so far. Dignitas have got to start panicking a little.
Absolutely, and RT has switched away from the Reaper now to the Genji. Now, last time this happened, didn't really work out that well. But look at this, Reaper Copter comes down, Zafra going to open up with the Death Blossom here as well. What can he find? Soon gets 2 with the Deadeye. That's a damn good start, and they're just catching Dignitas on the back foot. Dignitas can't set themselves up for a fight or a push or anything, because Misfits are already up in their grill.
That was so well timed. You saw the Reaper come down, Zapray dropping down, getting the Death Blossom, and while he didn't pick up the kills, he forced the shield of Numlock to spin around. That just totally exposed both supports to Soon just left clicking. It was, he couldn't really hope for more as a McCree player. It's like, oh, brilliant, 2 juicy targets right there. Now look at them, they're going for the right flank through the church.
Very dangerous here as well. I mean, you're at great risk of getting booped off at this part of the map, so they need to get inside that building or as close to as they can so nothing like that happens. It looks okay, but you can see there's a Reaper inside as well. Skipjack has that Earth Shadow available as well. He's waiting on a chance to use it here, waiting for that sound barrier to dissipate, and Numlock moving away with his shield. There might be an opportunity here as well, but Skipjack unsure. Toxican falls to Nevix here. Skipjack goes to the low ground, and that's where the fight's going to be from here on out.
So sweet, he's just spotted the Fate come out. There's going to be the Earth Shatter, but Numlock timed it perfectly. Counters the Earth Shatter down there. Bromas comes chiming in. Soon manages to get himself a kill, but this is all going Dignitas' way. The mental battle between 2 tanks there. You saw Skipjack drop the shield a couple of times. He knew Numlocked. Both of them had it. They were just mental battle between each other. Who's going to use it first? And it's Numlock that came out on top. Brilliant.
It's rare that Numlock's the more patient Reinhardt in all those cases, but perfect work. Now Graviton Surge coming in as well. Misfits getting caught together. Dignitas has had a good bit of a run, and they might be able to continue it on from here on out. But Soon, Crew, Zapray all there as well. Toxican falling down now, and it looked like a bit of a disarrayed Team Dignitas as Misfits came out towards them and meet them outside the complex.
Soon somehow survived there with about 10 hit points and then ended up getting himself a triple kill. I don't know how it worked out. Frustration, and I think we may be seeing obviously a lack of target focus from Dignitas. Now they have themselves a stack of ultis. They're in a good position, but obviously their respawns are a long way back. They have to regroup, and it's pretty obvious where they're coming from now. Now look at Zapray. Zapray's going to get himself a position. He's got his Death Blossom ready and waiting
35 seconds.
Going to try and catch around the side. And like you say, this is do or die time.
Yeah, they could actually lose the game here. If they don't get inside this facility within the next half minute, they're done. And the first map going to go over to Misfits here as well. So Dignitas carefully, meticulously setting up here on the top ledge, waiting for that Reinhardt shield to break. Not quite yet. Bromas has to hold the shot. He gets Skipjack. There might just be enough there as well. It's the head of Soon that goes tumbling off as soon as he gets his feet on the ground. Toxican now forced into using that Transcendence. He needs to keep his team alive. They need to keep going. Linkser gets Crew. Finally, he gets his opposite number, and it looks like Dignitas will get across the line. They're not out of the woods yet, Lee, but they're still in with a chance.
RTA gets himself a quad kill there with the help of that Discord orb, and now we're at 7 minutes. They've only got 2 minutes to finish off. Obviously, we're in overtime there, so suddenly Misfits time is actually looking like it's going to be pretty close. Yeah. They really cannot afford to be stalled out too many. They've got, what, 1-2 fights in them at best to move this around the corner.
The difference is Dignitas come into this phase with the Reinhardt. Misfits took, what, 4 fights before they realized they needed to make that switch here. So there's an advantage there for Dignitas. Now the sound barrier going to help them a little bit more. Linkser takes down Soon. When Linkser's on the kill feed, things are looking pretty good for Dignitas now. Numlock follows up, and there's Drakius, and Dignitas should be able to break through Misfits here as well. They're putting up the best fight they can, but Zapray Zarya the only one to get a kill there, and Misfits are crumbling.
They've got one chance now. This payload is going to be on the slope as Misfits come out of their spawn. You can see there's a lot of ultis available for Misfits, so there's a big chance that they could wipe them out here. Dignitas, nothing on the table right now. They just have to straight meet them. They're going to come around the corner. There it is on the slope. Skipjack comes piling in.
Graviton Surge well used there by Misfits to bring them all together. That's just what you need. They tie him up in a nice little bow, and it's soon that sends it back to spawn with love. 3 ults here for Misfits to work with. They've got to stall this game out just 1 more minute. That is all. They have good ultimates to do that with. I mean, Sound Barrier, Transcendence, they're defensive, going to keep your team alive. Death Blossom and Earth Shatter, what a deadly combination. Good timing for Misfits on these. Dignitas have to work around them or survive them.
Tricky positioning. They're coming straight in towards the Death Blossom of Zapre right now. Bromas and RTA really want to try and flank. You can see RTA is trying to get around the side, but they're going to be coming headlong into this stack of ultis. Graviton Surge comes down. There's going to be a pulse bomb. Bromas catches 2 down. It's the damage dealers. Skipjack gets picked up as well. This is incredible. The main rail pushed on through there. Numlock trying to work them down. The Sound Barrier is going to get slowly worked down as Toxic gets picked up around the side. It's the 2 supports doing what they can. Dragonblade comes out from RTA, but Crew manages to take him out single-handedly, dealing with the damage dealers, and they've held on.
Yeah, and there's only about 10 seconds left here as well, so Dignitas don't have time to group up. Drakius is trying to keep on the payload, keeping in stasis, keeping moving, whatever he can do. But Bromas falls down to the backside of the Severside. He's getting involved even on the Lucio, and I think Linksa realizes it's all but done. Ooh. Time is up, and Misfits, they snatch away the first map right from under Dignitas' nose.
Very close game between these two. Just a couple of fights. That's really all the difference was. 9 minutes, 7 seconds, but they held on. And really, it was the church section, I think, was the big delaying factor. There's, what, 2, 3, 4 fights back to back to back, constantly dropping down, constantly catching Dignitas off guard.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, Dignitas were able to do the same thing to Misfits in that last stage, of course, more towards the facility, but it took them far too long towards the end of that church phase to get it done.
Solid stuff, solid hold from Misfits. They're 1-0 up. Let's get over to the analyst desk to see what they have to say.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I think the guys here have a lot to say about that. I actually want to start off with something we have been discussing during the Envious and Dignitas game, something you have been mentioning, the lack of focus from Team Dignitas, and that's something we've seen again this very game. Demon has mentioned it as well. It was just very chaotic, you know, like in an overall sense, but Misfits as well.
Yeah, it absolutely felt like Dignitas was relying on these huge ultimates coming out from Artir, huge ultimates coming out from Bromas on defense there when they did end up holding a pretty decent time for Dorado. But they were just relying on these clutch plays to come in at the very last second, time and time again. It did work out for them on defense, but on offense, just barely falling short of the time set of 9 minutes and 7 seconds set in overtime. They were just a few meters away from that, so pretty damn close stuff.
Yeah, it was really close, and it maybe necessarily shouldn't have been. Misfits, they had a big mess up, I think, on attack, and Stir kind of mentioned it as well during the break, that no one was backdooring. No one was actually going behind them. When they're in the Foundry at the final area, no one went around behind them, and they kept walking straight into the blender of that staircase time and time again, straight into all these ultimates.
Yeah, you can't do that. You need someone in the back, a Genji, someone who can take the high ground, a Diva to push them off, as you suggested. Yep. Trying to fit everybody through that doorway and just hoping the speed boost through will work isn't going to work. I think the most grouped that they were was the biggest mistake. It was usually chaos, but the one time they came together was to push this doorway that was a complete failure. The second they stopped trying it, they finally got the point.
And there was two really interesting factors, I think, in this entire game that kind of went down, mostly on Dignitas' side. It was the difference between both Reinhardts, so Skipjack and Numlocked, coming down to who's going to be more aggressive or defensive at the right time. The immovable object meets the unstoppable force kind of route. And Numlock hit so many different charges in that staircase. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to miss a charge in a staircase when they're all there grouped up, right? And then also, we saw Artir not playing McCree. It was Bromas playing McCree, and Artir was playing the Reapers. So maybe some points that we brought up before about maybe switching some heroes over to some different players might have been actually what they talked about and actually did.
And this was such a beautifully coordinated drop right there from Misfits.
Even forcing out the ultimate from Linksa to get their Zarya ult out of him, that was just a perfect push. You couldn't hope for anything more. And here again, holding the shot as long as he could and actually getting 2 players and tumbleinaing off into the distance. That was great right there. That was my favorite.
Yeah, I think there were some really interesting battles going on between Numlocked and Skipjack.
Yep.
Now, Skipjack really impressed me with his Reinhardt play. He just seemed to have really great awareness, but at the same time, we also saw some really nice plays coming out of Numlocked. He put the shield up right in time to stop the Earth Shatter at least twice, and every time that happens, you feel pretty good as a Reinhardt player.
And you look at that as like a spectator, you might think, oh, it's easy, just put his shield up. But no, what he was doing was he was micromanaging how much he had left on his shield, so when the Earth Shatter came in, he could still block it, it wouldn't break, and the people behind him wouldn't actually get knocked down. So it's really difficult to do that in those situations, and you have to give him credit where it's due.
Definitely do. And now, this was only the first match. The guys can still bring it back. The first one went in favor of Misfits, but Dignitas might still be able. It was a very, very close one, and this is elimination time. For both of those teams, all or nothing. Who will stay and who will go home, and we will find out potentially soon in this potential last match between those two. And for that, I'm just going to throw it over to our casters once more.
Thank you very much, Zoe. So, Watch Pro and Gibraltar, here we go. Don't know how this one's going to go between the two teams. They haven't played each other on the newer version of it, obviously, since the change. And we were talking about Misfits, how they haven't really played a great deal of anything official outside of scrims.
This is a pocket pick. Teams aren't really chomping in the bit to try and play Gibraltar lately. Just a matter of preference, really. There have been other maps they wanted to go for. I've kind of put it in the same hole as Route 66, where it's one of those far longer range maps. Quite challenging, actually, for anyone who's playing on the attacking side here. A lot of that long range situation will be prevalent. Maybe an opportunity for Widowmakers to actually have some impact. So if Lynx is listening, yes, I permit you to perhaps play Widowmaker on this map. Just don't mess it up like you did last time, but still, going to be very, very interesting, and I think that for Dignitas to pick this, they've got to be ready for it. They've got to have something preparedly, especially as they're literally teetering on the edge of elimination here in day one.
Yeah, this is a ballsy play from them. Not as ballsy as Jason's prediction of shaving his head if they didn't pick a
I think he just wants to do
capture
it.
point. I think he just wants to shave his head, to be honest. I think that's what he's looking towards. I don't know I mean, he can do it if he wants.
Fine by me.
I mean, he looks a bit dodgy with it. So, but anyway, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about what's going on here. Dignitas got themselves Anna here. It's just maybe something they've had planned. We've heard a lot about Anna. Obviously, a lot of teams have had a chance to boot camp and finally practice her and work her into their strategies, obviously, which they didn't really have building up to this through the regionals, because it kind of sort of came out week 2 or 3, wasn't it, of the actual cup.
Midway through week 2, I think.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, the thing is, Anna is like a feel-good Widowmaker, right? It's like you can pick Anna and you can live your sniper fantasy, but you also heal your team and you don't get raged at if you do it right. Ask Stir about it. I mean, he plays quite a lot of Anna as well. He's very much a big aficionado. So yeah, Drakius wants to get as much damage done, but also needs to spend about 70% of his time keeping his team healed up. Those bionic grenades are super important. And of course, we're looking at prime targets for the nano boost, probably Numlocked at this stage.
Excited to see Roadhog here as well from Zapray, so we'll see whether he manages to land some of those big hooks. They can really be game changers, trying to swing it out there and catch onto Numlock. Not really the ideal target, but you know what? Taking down that big, juicy, tanky target is not too bad, but it can see the payload making its way through. Of course, you guys have all played the new version, no payload marker, big time, and instead they're going to go aggressive. RTA gets away with it there. Gets managed to pick the kill on Zapray, was taken down to nothingness, and of course, losing a body this early on, this aggressive, can come back to kick you because it's a lot longer run.
So in this case, though, you see Misfits pushing forward. They took so much poke damage in that last situation, so much. They're already half helper for the fight even starting. You see Linkser, he's making sure that Misfits can't set up on this high ground and do something silly like a Deadeye from Soon, who's, by the way, three-time Shootmania world champion Soon is. So his aim's pretty good, even when he's using Deadeye. I guess it's even better.
Well, Bromas got himself that Deadeye ready and waiting to go. He's going to left click on Crew there, force him down. That's going to be Deadeye. No shields. Gets himself the double Linkser. I'm pretty sure stole one there. And there goes Bromas, goes aggressive. And they're just forcing him back to spawn at the moment. Still plenty of time on the clock, though, so let's not get carried away. Kind of expected defense right now, but very aggressive defense from Dignitas. Ordinarily, we'd see them setting up around the server room, etc.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is the new look. They don't need to just sit and let them hit that payload point.
They're giving some ground. I kind of think of them like a sapling here as well. They kind of bend with the breeze and then spring right back in your face when you least expect it. So you see Dignitas will hold on this corner and allow at least Misfits to come forward to a degree, with the exception of this little platform here. Linkser constantly, Linkser on Winston, by the way, whoever would have thought, the two most different looking things in the world.
But we do make a play.
Yeah, exactly. But Linkser getting up on the high ground, denying that away. Now Soon gets taken out so early as well. That's a very good start. RTA actually picking up Zebasai here, and in the backline we do have Linkser going nuts. And again, Not much follow-up there to that Graviton Surge.
Not worked out too well for them so far, but Linksa, thankfully, with the Primal Rage, is starting to get himself some kills. Will take down Nevix as well. So working out well. But the payload's moving its way around. You can see Zapray gets in, but this is Linksa doing some serious work. Gets himself, well, effectively the quad kill. Toxic stole the final kill marker. Gonna come up on top there. May even get himself a 5th on soon. He's just gonna force him away. Down you go. Linksa absolutely rocking the Winston.
The thing is, right, Discord Orb enables so many passages of play for Winston, right? Normally you only do a decent amount of DPS when you're hitting 4 people at once as Winston. I think that's the only point where it becomes comparable to a Reinhardt or Zarya for that matter. But man, with Discord Orb, you can take down tanks even so quickly.
I mean, this is a big position. Obviously, the changes with Anna coming out. This used to be the Soldier 76 position. Now we're seeing Drakea sitting there, hitting it from range. Let's see if it works out for him.
Yeah, now we're getting Nano Boost being used there as well. But his target goes down too early. Oh, it's a little bit too late there for Drakius. He'd hoped to set up things quite nicely. But by the time he managed to get involved, he gets some decent healing across the line. Dignitas were already scattered to the 4 winds. And it is going to be Misfits breaking through this defense and get in front of the hangar phase. But Lee, it's only uphill from here, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, they were caught off guard there. A full-on death ball coming through from Zapray. Zapray taking some damage in the corner, but of course we're moving to the hangar bay. Very tricky section. Obviously see them trying to fight for the high ground of the shuttle. You can see Dignitas are up there already, trying to get themselves the high position or just hopping on the wing and just trying to keep them up on high. The danger of this, of course, is it's very tricky for Skipjack to try and keep that shield damage going. Soon's trying to see if he can get any targets. Nobody's going to be foolish enough to find their heads.
The thing is here, Misfits can stop their feet and have a tantrum all they like. Dignitas aren't going to come down until they're ready to fight. And they're going to do that right now. Bromas comes in, it's a flash out as well. Soon being healed up by the Transcendence. He can back away to the rest of his team, but it's also a Transcendence coming out the side of Dignitas. Zapray finds an unlock first, but Bromas, decent vantage point for that Deadeye, but Nevik spots him out with an orb to the face, and it's goodnight, Sally.
Yeah, Soon does get taken down by Lynx once again, though, coming around the side there's Zapray, but while this is all happening, the payload's continuing to make its way through. It is being contested, you can see. A little skip jumping around there from RTA, who's got his Dragon Blade ready waiting to go, but he's not going to push on through just yet. And this payload's making good distance.
Yeah, Dignitas dropped off the top of the shuttle there as well, but into kind of a bad fight. They were scattered as soon as they hit the ground there, and Misfits were able to just choose their targets and drive straight through them. Now RT gets the Dragon Blade, but he gets sucked into the Graviton Surge, also a sound barrier. Misfits don't even need that kind of ultimate. It's like the icing on top of the cake, really, and they grab the cake, plunge it into Dignitas' face and say, we're coming for that last checkpoint.
Yeah, Dignitas caught off quite heavily there, and suddenly an area that you should stall out at least a couple of minutes has just been bypassed, and now we see Dignitas in panic mode. This is their last chance. They're one map down, and at the moment, you know what? If we see a 5-minute plus time from Misfits, Dignitas are in real trouble of going out of this tournament very quickly. Here they go, aggressive.
They start the fight off there. Numlock's shield gets broken. He goes for the Earth Shatter, but it's blocked away. Still, he manages to catch Soon mid-charge, takes him down, and RT's in the backline on towards Skipjack. Now Numlock free to swing for the fence, but he's going to be shut down by Crew. Discord Orb wasn't enough to help him get the kill, but now Bromas gets to wrap in towards the side, gets himself to the back of that one. Nevik, see you later, mate. Didn't even know where his head went. And Bromas, at least with the back of Dignitas, were able to make a fight out of that, even though Numlock completely botched the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, he got shielded off completely, and he just thought, okay, this is real trouble here. But now we see Dignitas having to hold for, what, 4 minutes 20. The payload's going to hit that dog leg. This is the real point where you do or die time. They're going to go aggressive. Bromas gets himself a triple, making a quad there at the end. Triple with a Deadeye, finishes off with a left click. Good night.
It's the one Deadeye you don't see on camera that kills everyone.
Of course.
Well, Bromas had a good position there as well. He's up in the back corner from what I could see. So this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Dignitas. They were supposed to hold Misfits back in the hangar phase. That was where it's supposed to happen. Losing that one after one fight, an absolute nightmare for Dignitas. So the longer they hold here, the better. Now it's all just bonus time they've really gotten after they messed things up earlier on the map. Graviton Surge comes in. Skipjack's got Earth Shatter.
Gets caught out though, pinned straight away. Numlock comes through. He seems to have his number so far. He's doing a great job. Obviously not using his 4G mobile anymore, so he's got himself a decent connection. He can finally actually start landing these hits. Zapray gets picked off. Numlock doing some work.
That's it. Artia trying to get in the back line as well. Oh my lord, Nevik charges up a few balls and sends him right into his face. Artia falls down. That's probably not exactly the way you want to go on Overwatch. There are less humiliating ways to die, but there it is. Earth Shatter comes in. Drakius manages to dodge around the side, but the rest of his team are falling by the wayside. It is time to reap apparently here for the rest of Misfits. They're cutting through them, and Drakius, all he can do is try to stall this one out. He falls to Crew, and now Dignitas, it's full stall mode. It's DEFCON 4. It's all hands on all stations, I guess. It's not good.
Danger, danger, get anything out to spawn. You can see they get caught up. The Graviton Surge gets thrown in there. Numlock manages to charge his way through. He gets skipjack, but the rest of his team are dead. He gets picked up in the back and soon just rides that payload to victory. It is a 7 minutes, 5 seconds. Not the best of times, but still not too bad on Gibraltar that is an 11-minute map.
Yeah, this is like the longest map in the game.
Yeah.
So you get 7 minutes here, equate it to like a 5-minute, 5.5-minute King's Row. So that's good. That's like B+, I'd say, in terms of timing there as well. And Dignitas, that was kind of a situation of their own design there. They set up in that second phase, up on top of the shuttle. Now, the whole point of that is that the enemy team can't get to you ever, and you can decide when to fight. And that's fine, but if you make the wrong decision into when to fight, or if you make the right timing, but then sort of don't execute properly, it doesn't matter. You can go sit on the moon and jump down from there. It's not going to help you anymore.
Yeah, and you saw, obviously, Bromas try and drop down, get the Deadeye from the back. Nevix picked him off straight away.
Just weird positioning. He was also around just like, where he was looking is that half of Misfits were just walking around
behind the payload.
Exactly, so he couldn't see them, he didn't have line of sight. What you want to do is stand up on top of that shuttle, pop Deadeye so people hear the sound cue, but can't hear where it's coming from because you're standing above them. And in the game, the audio doesn't actually give you a clear understanding of where that comes from. Then you drop down while the ultimate's still channeling, and then you use it in midair or something like that. I did a cutie tournament that one, the old unseen McCree Deadeye being the deadliest.
Well, let's see how this is going to work out. Misfits on the defensive side, pretty much going exactly the before, but using the Zapre is going to use Genji on defense here for Misfits.
It's risky and it's quite cocky, actually. So you're obviously trying to be annoying, like, kind of like a Tracer, but with a little bit more of a killing edge, right? You need to go in, if you're going to go in at all, you need to kill them, because that's how you get your dash resets. A Tracer can just casually recall out of a potentially bad situation. So this is like hard mode Tracer, I guess, and Zapre definitely needs to make that work. Well, he might just sit at mid to long range and charge up for a Dragon Blade. That's also possible, but picking a Genji here, yeah, they've got 3 offense heroes.
It's a very aggressive positioning as well. The triple push, are they going to try and just flank straight around the back? I don't know how this one's going to work. You can see Bromas is trying to flank. He's just like, where are they exactly? I'm not actually seeing anyone yet.
Something is up.
Yeah, something is definitely not right here. So this is a risky play from Misfits. Bear in mind, obviously they're looking at holding out for 7 minutes. They don't want to give up this first payload marker very soon. And Bromas, we just followed him. He's not seen a single person yet.
No, and you can see there as well, 1 tank for Misfits, that's all. So this is like a hyper-aggressive, really need to slow them down composition. They might just drop in on top of them as well. We can see some of them from up above, and here it comes. Misfits going for the ground and pound, and Bromas gets stunned up immediately, soon finds him, and then he finds Toxikin. Misfits spring the trap, and Dignitas fall for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Soon picks himself up. 4 kills, and Skipjack finishes off. So it worked. It worked out for them. It was a risky play, though. I mean, that was pretty risky. Obviously, you can only really fall for it once or twice. I wouldn't expect it to work too many times. They are jumping back into position. We're seeing crew going into the standard position on the Reaper now, on just on the ledge.
I mean, well, yeah, you can only fall for it once or twice, but the thing is, Dignitas either have to challenge Misfits up on that ledge, or just be ready for them. Like, what does that even mean? It's like, just get good. What does that mean? Well, here we go. Now Misfits jumping down yet again. So Dignitas, let's hope they've put their brains to the test in the last few moments to think about how to deal with this. So far, it's Zapre just going in. Another have server room control as well. So this is potentially fairly safe for Dignitas. Once Numlock gets his shield back, he can protect the rest of his team and he can allow them to advance further.
Here they go. Going to go around the side there. Now we can see Zapre's got that Dragon Blades waiting to see some of their support ultis. He's going to try and get himself on there. Drakea's picked him down though. Zapre picked off. Soon's going to still keep left clicking, but he's the only man alive. The rest of his team are going to push on through. Bromas gets himself a triple kill there. RTA collects it, and that is going to be a quicker first payload marker for Team Dignitas.
Zapre messed up his dash there. He got a free dash from using Dragon Blade, and he hit the corner of the wall. He couldn't reach the Zenyatta. He couldn't get a reset on that one, and he was cut down mid-air. Bromas, you can see he's a Bastion player, by the way, because all of his Deadeyes come from the most random corners that no one's looking at.
Don't knock Bastion.
He's
He's got
Bastion
the best
fan.
animation ever. That's the anime that came out. It was absolutely brilliant. But here we go. Zapre got themselves shuttle control, but they're only in the shuttle bay. They're not on top of it, so they haven't got the best of control. They're going to try and go aggressive. Nomlock's just going to back away, cover off, let that Zenyatta ulti run down. Earthshatter comes out. It's a little too soon. Didn't really catch anyone with it, but it's still working out in their favor.
Skipjack goes down first for Misfits. He's the only tank. Remember that. It's a single tank comp, so now they're lacking durability, but they've got the damage to follow up. Bromas doesn't really care about how durable you are. As Soon's going to take him down easily enough there. He should eventually fall. Somehow Link's a fall. He wasn't able to get the extra damage across it soon. This guy coming from Machine Mania, shocking everyone in that game, and he shows no signs of slowing down here. Like a fine wine, he just gets better with age.
Indeed. So 3 minutes and counting. Now remember, Misfits didn't really get held up at all in this shuttle-based section, like they should have. This is really where you do lose one or two fights. You kind of expect that, honestly, until you finally get control. But now you can see Misfits. This is exactly where Soon should be. He's got himself perfect positioning. He's got himself the shield. Oh, and they're going to get picked off the side here. 1 or 2 people are going to go down. They're just trying to edge out that Deadeye. They have to zone it out. Perfectly zoned, but they were split 3 for 3. How's it going to work?
Yeah, Dignitas now need to group back together as well. Come together as a unit because Misfits are going to hit them where they're weakest. Numlock gets stunned out there as well, but he's quickly shielded by Lynx, keeping him alive. Zapray wants to go on the backline. He's reflected the Deadeye back at Bromas. That's gotta hurt. And now Zapray goes forward and cleans up Toxicin as well. Finally falls to Numlock, but that's just adding insult to injury there.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing when that comes in your face and it's just straight back on you. And more importantly, he gets caught on camera and we call them out. 4 minutes and counting. Dignitas need to really make some moves here. They're lacking in the ulti department as well. Nevix does have himself that Transcendence, but you can see they're going to try and gain his high ground once again. Linksa does have himself his Graviton Surge to try and push on through. So if they're going to stick around up here, they will get caught out by that. They're not going to use it. They want to drop down and keep that payload moving, because while it's happening, payload is just backing up.
Yeah, that's right. They got no one on there. They can't even sneak someone on there as well. I think Linksa was maybe considering a Graviton Surge, but it's a bit unreliable when the enemy team's up on top of the shuttle. So Misfits are doing the shuttle play the way Dignitas should have done it.
Transcender's being used pretty early. Soon, though, he's on point, but Bromas has finally dealt with him. This is a very split up fight. They're all over the place at the moment. Lynx is going to get picked off eventually, but Bromas is doing some work. Nevis gets taken down around the side there. Toxic rejoins the fight. This is just the kind of carnage type of fight they needed. The skirmish battles rather than the straight up 6v6 brawls. It seems to work in their favor. The Discord up comes down there. Bromas gets around. He gets the left click on Crew, and now the payload is making some distance. Misfits have to respect this. They're going to try and get themselves in position, but they're very split on the spawns at the moment.
Yeah, Soon managed to shut down Bromas there as well, who was starting to become a little bit of a problem for Misfits. The guy, once you set him off the chain, he managed to come out with a brace of kills. I think it was 3 or so in that last fight. But again, Misfits have the high ground, not the super high ground, but high enough now. Deadeye comes in, Graviton Surge from both sides. What a weird situation here. Both teams getting sucked in by gravity. Soon gets himself 2, not only 2, but 2 tanks. The head of Artier also falls by the wayside as Skipjack finding Drakius. That's going to be enough to force Dignitas back, and now they're running out of time.
I don't care what Stir says. You cannot but appreciate quality like that from a McCree player.
I'm all about some left clicks.
Yeah.
I'm a left click fan.
Now, I'm a massive left-click fan. What's so exciting about seeing a big Transcendence ball? It's like, wow, skill! Amazing stuff. But anyway, look at Zapray. He's got himself his Dragon Blade ready waiting to go. And look where Dignitas are. They're back in their position. Not again, indeed. They're not going to get caught out. Bromas in there. Uh-oh, Drakeus, be careful. He's coming from behind. He's not trying to catch you out, but Linksa manages to get in there. Crew gets himself one, though. RTA picked off, and this payload's still being contested. We're closing in on 6 minutes. They've got 1 minute to close out the map. Dignitas are in danger of falling out the tournament before they get out the shuttle bay.
It would have been very, very early at this stage now. Zephyr's does manage to get them towards Numlock here, and Lynx is staying alive far longer than I expected him to. That's because he was the last target being focused there as well. You can see the rest of Dignitas had already fallen to their knees. And it will be Misfits to hang on here as well. There's just not enough time for Dignitas here as well. I don't know what the call has been, but they need to get to the end of the map within less than a minute. It's just not possible, Lee.
It's not possible. It looks like it's going to be slowing things down. Bromas, they're trying anything they can for their careers here. And at the moment, the Atlantic Showdown is looking like it's going to see its first team falling out. Team Dignitas will be falling to Misfits. You can see just 30 seconds on the clock. GG from these guys. There's nothing they can do. They're going to get held up in the shuttle bay. And there is Misfits. The team on your screen is going to be going through to face Fnatic tomorrow. And it is just heartbreak for Bromas and Crew. Not quite Crew, but for Misfits.
Crew, I mean, Crew was causing the heartbreak, I suppose. But yeah.